It's quite amazing that many people are trying to relocate out of their country through the skilled worker visa, which requires a COS, which for the purpose of this video I'll be calling the course, but they are not even sure what the COS stands for, what it entails. Neither do they even know that there are two different types of this COS, and this is what I will be covering in this video today. Now, for the sake of this video, we'll be looking at 1, the full meaning of the course, 2, what this course is all about, 3, who needs the course, 4, the types of course that we have, 5, the differences between kind of course that we have, and 6, the things to look out for when you get your course. So at the end of this video as well, I will be sharing an important bonus information for you guys. Now, this is something that many people get confused about to date. They don't understand how it works and it makes them very, very confused. So I will be talking about this. I'll be giving this information bonus at the end of this video. So if you want to learn and know what this bonus tip is all about, watch to the end of this video and enjoy. Let's get right into it. Wonderful people, and welcome back to my channel. Now, most of you know me. My name is Sandra Silvanus. But if you're just seeing my face for the first time, this beautiful face, and it means that you're new here, welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video, and I do hope that you get moved and motivated to join the family by clicking on the subscribe button and turning on the post notification before you opt out of this video. Okay, and for my returning subscribers, you guys are lovely. I love you guys. Thank you for coming back to support me. I really do appreciate you guys. God bless you all. Now let's go right into what we're going to be talking about today, which I have already introduced, and that's going to be the course. And what this course simply means is certificate of sponsorship. You heard me. Yes, you. Certificate of sponsorship. Okay, now what is this certificate of sponsorship? Now, this, from the name, when you hear it, you think it's like a paper kind of certificate, you know, the certificate you get when you do your courses or whatever. But no, this is actually an electronic document that your employer makes application for to the Home Office, telling them that they would want to sponsor this individual. Right? Now, without this course, you cannot apply for a skilled worker visa, okay? And each of the COS has a unique reference number attached to it. So Mr. A cannot use Mr. B's course, okay? Each COS is independent to an individual because the employer applies for you as an individual applicant for that COS to the Home Office. I hope that is quite clear. So you can actually print out this COS at the end of the day. When your employer sends it to you, basically you will just see it's a list of informations there for you containing your contact details, the kind of job that you're coming for, the salary range, and a lot of other things, your start date and end date and all those things. Okay, so just have it at your mind that this is an electronic document, you know, which when ready your employer sends to you, and then you can actually print it out if you want to. So it's not really that it's a paper kind of document. Okay, and each of this has a unique reference number, and you must have your COS to apply for a work visa. I remember someone coming to me to ask me how to apply for the skilled worker visa, and I said, okay, have you gotten your COS? Person was like, no. Have you gotten a job? No. And I was like, I'm not sure what to tell you right now, okay? What are you even asking me? Like, how do you apply for the worker visa? How do you apply for your visa when you've not even gotten the job, or you don't even have your COS? So it's not enough to get your job. It's also, you must also have a COS, of course, before you can even apply for your visa. Who needs a COS? I have said it in this video already. People that are coming through the skilled worker visa route, could even be the scale-up worker visa. You are the ones that would need to have a certificate of sponsorship to live and work in the UK. The next thing we're going to look at are the types of the COS that we have. Now, we have two types of COS, and people do not know about this because there are many people that are just too excited about the fact that they're going to get a COS, so they do not even bother to even, you know, look, oh, do I have a defined COS and an undefined COS? I know of a friend recently that got an undefined COS, but he was quite observant, jubilating and stuff, and then the next thing he said was, oh no, I have an undefined COS, and he's coming from, you know, outside the UK. So he's like, okay, I need to contact my employer and make them know that, you know, this is not a defined COS. Because the thing is that most times employers are kind of new to the system, so they don't even really know or have the full information on, you know, the differences between a defined COS and an undefined COS, which is not their fault. They're starting out newly. So it's left for you, the applicant, to be able to tell from the COS that no, this is not a defined COS, or this is an undefined COS, or what I need is an undefined rather than a defined, and vice versa. Having stated already that you have the defined COS and you have the undefined COS, let us talk about briefly what both of them are. It's quite a straightforward explanation. So the undefined COS basically are for people that are applying for an entry clearance into the UK for a particular job who already reside in the UK, right? I hope that was clear enough. So if you are in the UK already, for instance, for example, if you're on a study visa, right, and your visa is about to expire and you want to like switch over to like a worker visa, then when you apply for this job and your employer is giving you a course, the kind of course that you would need will be the undefined course, not a defined one. And having explained that already, you can easily tell what the defined course is all about. So the defined course now is for people that are applying for an entry clearance into the UK, who are coming to the UK for the first time through the worker visa route that need sponsorship by their employers. So these are the people that will get a defined COS from their employers. If you're outside the UK applying from your home country and you apply to the home office for a visa with an undefined COS, you will get your application revoked. That will be your responsibility now. So when you get your COS, make sure that you have correct type of COS for your application, because if you use either one of them that is wrong for, you know, the position which you're applying for, you are not going to get your visa and it's going to get declined instantly. Now, having talked about this, the next thing we're going to be looking at are the things that you need to look out for in your COS. I've mentioned it along this video anyways, but the first thing that you would need to look out for basically would be to note if it's an undefined or defined COS. Very important, because like I said, this can either make or mar your application. And let me just put this out there, that the fact that you have a COS does not guarantee that the home office will approve your visa. There are many factors that are involved, but we're not going to go into that. But you know, you have high chances of getting your visa approved when you have a COS and you're coming through the worker route. To be honest, you have much more. I've hardly heard of people that got denied their visas. It happens, but most times there are more success stories than failures. You haven't looked at it and confirmed and you have the right COS, you have the right type of COS that you need, the next thing you need to look out for is your name, personal details, your personal information. You need to make sure that everything there is correct. I am a living testimony of this one, because I haven't waited for my course for a very long time. I had my breath in my head. I was literally gasping for air and choking. You know, I had the whole air from the room sucked out because I was waiting for my COS. And I finally got the COS. I remember that day I was workplace and I got a mail and I saw the COS and I was so happy. I couldn't contain my joy. You guys understand how it goes. I couldn't contain my joy and stuff. So I kind of stepped out to like look at the COS and sent an email to my recruitment advisor thanking her for the course. And I just went back again and I started, you know, taking my time to look down through the details and stuff. Lo and behold, it wasn't mine. It wasn't mine. It had the name boldly for another person. So that wasn't my COS. Apparently, the recruitment advisor made a mistake and sent out another person's COS to me. And I had to look for the person that I saw their name, because we had a general group. So I had to look for the name. I had to ask on the group, who is so and so person? And the person told me, and I'm like, have you gotten your COS? And they were like, yes. So apparently the recruitment advisor made a mistake and sent the person their COS and sent me their COS as well. So I might have ignored that information and gone to apply for my visa because I was so excited. Don't get too excited, because I could have been so excited and applied and then realized that the whole thing was just a flop when my visa gets denied. But thank God I saw it. So yes, haven't checked if it's defined or undefined. The next thing you want to look for are your personal details. Now, the other things are just confirming that the right job has been stated on the COS as well. So you want to look at the job title. You want to look at the salary range if it rhymes with what is on your job letter and your contract of employment. You want to also check for the work hours if it's, you know, aligning with what you were told in your contract of employment as well. You know, and all these other things are things that you need to check for. You need to go through and read. Then, most times what this COS actually implies that your employer will sponsor you and sponsor your first few months of stay in the UK. Now, there are some employers that do not grant you this. Okay, they tell you that when you come to the UK, when they bring you over, you're going to fend for yourself in terms of accommodation, get yourself out from the airport to your place of primary assignment, and other things like that. Meanwhile, there are some employers that say that they will sponsor you and take care of you as well, even when you come into the UK. Now, the difference is that if your employer states it, and the way there's a place you can see this on your CRS, basically going to be putting an image on the screen for you to see. So there's a place on your CRS, usually towards the last page, that says tick to certify maintenance for migrants, and in brackets they put and dependents if applicable. So most employers would put an N there signifying no. So if they actually put no there, it means that when you are doing your visa application, you would need to provide proof of funds. If in that section your employer puts Y, then you don't need to provide your proof of funds for that application, right? So this one is even a bonus tip, but that's not what I was going to talk about at the end of this video, right? So you need to look at all these details and make sure, because if your employer will not maintain you, basically, let me use that word, maintain you during your first few months in the UK, or even your dependents, it means that whenever you or your dependents are applying for a visa, you would have to provide proof of funds for all of you. Aside from that, you have other important information to look for, even the employer's your work address. You need to make sure everything is correct, you need to make sure everything is aligned, and basically your passport number, your start date of employment and end date. You need to make sure that everything is aligned and everything is correct, because one mistake on that CRS can render your visa application fruitless, and nobody wants that wasted effort. Now, I hope I've been able to explain to you guys what the CRS means, or what the course means, or what the certificate of employment means. So you're going to be hearing between those terms. Some people will call it the CRS, some people will call it the course, some people will call it the full name, which is certificate of employment, which is a very long name. You know, I can't be calling it that. So now, thank you for staying to this point of this video. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. I really appreciate you for watching through. And now it's time to share our bonus added information. Now, this has always been a conflicting issue, because people keep wondering, they keep applying to employers, and these employers keep telling them that they are not sponsoring. You know, for example, I have a Telegram group where I share job vacancies from time to time, and then I post some employers, and people come to tell me, oh, that they said they're not sponsoring. Some people come and say, oh, they didn't see anything sponsorship on their page. Some of them, let me state it, that some employers don't even see that they sponsor. But I have a list on the government's UK website that states people that are licensed sponsors that can bring you over to the UK through the worker visa. But that's not the point of what I'm trying to say. Now, the reason why you might send an email across or apply for a job and then they tell you that they are not sponsoring sometimes, it could be from various factors, not necessarily because they are not licensed sponsors. They could be licensed sponsors, but there might be other factors responsible. And the one thing I want to talk about today is the annual CRS allocation that is usually done between the employers and the Home Office. So basically, yearly, towards the end of an annual year, employers are supposed to apply for an annual CRS allocation. Okay, so basically this is just to tell the Home Office that, okay, for this year we're going to be needing this amount of CRS or course for this amount of people. I said CRS is individualistic, okay, it's individual based, one CRS to one person. So they make applications or send a message across to the Home Office saying that they need, or the Home Office tells them basically that it's time to make this application. You know, tell me what allocation you need for the year, right? And then the employers will give the Home Office a number of COS that they would need for that year. So what this means is that once that allocation finishes, once they exhaust their allocation, they cannot give COS to anyone again till the next annual year begins. Although the employer, if they want to, can write to the Home Office and explain why they need more COS aside from what has already been allocated to them. But this will take way longer to approve. I think it takes about 18 weeks or so, or a little bit less or over, I'm not sure, but it takes a while, and they need to explain properly, give good explanations as to why they are requesting for more allocations aside from what they already told the Home Office that they needed. And now this only applies to undefined CRS. Yes, this only applies to undefined people that are applying for the undefined COS. So basically, this COS annual allocation is only done for the undefined course. Now, for the defined course, your employer can send a message across to the Home Office whenever. They can always make an application to the Home Office whenever they want to sponsor a candidate internationally. And the application takes between 1 day to 2 working days. Okay, 1 to 2 working days, and that COS should be ready. All right, so if employer is telling you something else, it just means maybe they don't have the funds at that point to support your relocation, because it does cost a lot of money, you know, health surcharge and every other thing. You know, it could amount to about 3,000 something, you know, so sometimes they don't really have the fund at that point. That's if you're an international applicant. But if you're applying for an undefined course, then it's most likely because the employer has exhausted their allocation for that year. This is the bonus information I wanted to give you guys so that you are less confused about what is going on and you're wondering what's going on and why they're telling that they're not sponsoring when it says that they are sponsoring. Okay, so guys, I have come to the end of this video, and I hope that I've been able to explain, and I hope that from this video you've been able to get a better idea on what the COS is and what you need to know about everything concerning the COS. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Support me and turn on your post notifications, so whenever I put up similar contents to this one, you will be the first to know about it. And guys, until my next video, I will see you guys. Take care and stay safe. Bye.
Calm down. Girl, this your body that puts in my heart for lockdown. Girl, you sweet like Fanta.